Alrighty. See if we can figure.
You want me to reset it now?
No.
It's good. Hey, that would have been a very.
Alrighty, let's do something. What you want to ask, baby?
I keep having this reoccurring dream where I'm in the woods and I hear somebody call my name and I go try to find them.
Maybe you've lost.
And then I'll get to a point where there's fire lanes and you can either go that way.
Come up here. Let's see it. All right, you're in the woods. Like what kind of woods?
It'd be all hardwood.
Hardwoods. Is it scary or comforting or?
It's not scary. I'd say it's more comforting just being in the woods. But it's weird because there's hills and I don't know.
It's pretty.
Yes, it is.
Were you raised in nature? Did you go hunting and?
Always was in the woods.
So that's a peaceful place for you? Okay. And then what?
And it's like I have a choice to take a fire lane, which would be the easy way around, or go straight through the like thick brush with the briars and everything. I always go through the briars.
All right. And then what?
And then I just sounds like that just recurring the whole dream. I'm trying to find the person that's yelling my name.
And then somebody's yelling your name.
You can't find them if you're going through the briars.
It's like I never can catch them. They're always, by the time I get there, they're gone.
And tell me that again.
What's that?
The last part you said you can never catch them.
I can never catch them. It's like they're running for me and I'm trying to catch them sometimes.
They're calling your name but running from you.
Yeah, it's like I get to where I think they called my name and they're gone. And then I hear them call my name again somewhere else. And I run that way.
Are you making any progress or are you just going round and round?
I feel like I'm just going around there.
What's that like, going round and round?
I hate it.
Make you angry, frustrated?
Very angry. Frustrated. Well, it's like I want to give up, but I can't. I won't let myself.
And you won't let yourself. Okay. Let me talk about dreams a little bit. Okay. I think a good way to think about dreams, especially if you have recurring ones, they're typically fairly important. Okay. In the last several weeks, we've been talking about the idea that who we really are is a lot bigger and unknown than we realize. That typically we associate who we are with our memory of our history because we take all these little events that happen moment by moment by moment by moment and pick out parts and write a fiction in our head about who we are and our story. Like Steve Martin in The Jerk, I was born a poor black child and da-da-da-da-da-da until he found his special purpose and all that, you know. Anybody see that show? Okay. And the fiction that we write and when we repeat it hey, how you doing? Who are you? Well, I was born a poor black child, and or I was raised in this, or I was raised in this. Mama was of this, Daddy was of that. But there's a whole lot more to our actual history than we realize. Many times we focus on bad stuff, or one event, or a few events, right? Because if you're still alive, no matter how sorry your parents may or may not have been, they kept you alive. Your daddy may have been so unambitious and sorry that your mama had to sneak up on him and tie him down and wiggle on him till he squirted. And that's all he gave you. Well, at least he gave you that. Right? You know, if he gets... And I tell folks this all the time, and not because I am brilliant, just because it's true. Nobody gets 100 as parents. If you're still alive, they at least kept you still alive.
Well, I'm a good parent. My parents are
okay.
Together.
Yeah, and I'm talking about it. There's parts to who you are, your history, your something that's calling to you. Your soul is calling to you. God is calling to you. Something is calling to you. And something about the way you're going about it just frustrates you. I mean, that's fairly apparent. We can find out some more stuff here in a minute. But if your daddy only made a 1, give him that 1. Where's he?
He went,
All right. I mean, I was talking with him about that. As he kind of got, and we talked about it out loud last week, so I can say, I feel okay about saying that. He has these stereotypes of who his mother and father is. And he goes back and forth between acting like his daddy and then talking about all that stuff like he was his mother. Does that make any sense? And one of the things that he's working on is what is the real truth about daddy. I mean, daddy and mama didn't get down on their knees when they was 5 or 6 and pray, "Dear Lord, let me grow up and fuck my kids up." Dear Lord, they were little 4, 5, 6, 10-year-old kids dealing with whatever they had to deal with. And typically, if we think back on it, our parents usually did better for us than was done for them. Would y'all agree to that? Generally, I've known very few psychopaths. I've known some. And if your parent get a 65, then they're way above average. Dreams are an important, or can be an important source of new information. Because we're trying to figure out or see or become aware of patterns in our life. Right? And all patterns are not bad. They're not all good. Some of them work, some of them don't. But more times than not, we're unconscious or not thinking of or aware of the patterns that we live out of. Right? Why'd you do that? Oh, no. Right? Oh, no. Well, have you done it for you? How many times? 1,000? Still don't know. And we don't know because we don't look. We are addicted to our fiction. Have you started journaling, writing this stuff down?
Not really. I need to.
Well, it's not about, I'm not trying to guilt you or you need to, or if you're curious.
I am curious.
Okay. Because some folks need to quit writing because that's all they do. Because it's more of an intellectual thing, and it kind of objectifies it and keeps the emotional content out sometimes. Right? How many journals you got? 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay. It's more about, in your dream, there's the pattern of doing the same stuff and getting the same result. Right?
Right.
Okay. And I've dealt with all kind of religious folks for years and years and decades, and typically, I get to know them and we're talking about what to do. If they read their Bible every day, sometimes they need to stop. Right? If they don't, then they need to start. It's more about doing something different and getting a different piece of information. Because whatever it is that our patterns are, typically we've developed those in response to some kind of negative stuff in us. Right? And they work, generally. But then there's this other part of us that somehow seems to have more control than our consciousness, because we end up in the same place over and over and over again. Right? So dreams are a good way, because they don't make sense typically in the way we're used to making sense.
I would say it's a crazy dream.
Crazy's the best kind, because where you're going to find God is in the crazy, not in what I got all together. Right? That's the same principle we're talking about every week. In the weird, or what feels weird.
Like me looking in the mirror, just want to punch it. I'm still trying to do that like I told it.
Looking in the mirror? And what's that like?
I hate it.
Why?
I hate looking at myself.
Why?
I'm not happy with with my situation. It's how I live.
Have you had an experience of looking in the mirror long enough to see past that to that soul that's behind it?
I try to stay there, but then I just leave.
When you're looking in the mirror, what's going on in you?
Just like, I'd say all of my mistakes I make. Why did I do this? Why did I do that?
Does it feel weird?
Very weird.
Weird how?
Like it brings up anger. Makes me mad.
Well, keep playing with it. Because that's your fiction. Those are stuff you've done, and there's stuff you've undone, but you've also done good things, whatever good is. Why don't you count those out loud? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're not telling the real story to yourself. There's more to it. You're not good and you're not bad. You're both. But you get stuck on one side.
I'm either very good or very bad.
The bipolar thing, right? And both of those are fiction.
We get to that middle.
Again, it's like learning to walk a tightrope when you're drunk. And everything's hard before it's easy. Huh?
I don't mind the hard part. I like working hard.
Well, it's like punishing yourself, kind of. Because you're a bad boy.
Yeah, like cutting.
Cutting? Like your skin?
Yeah, I did that for a while.
So there's some self-hate.
Yes, a lot of it.
There's also some self-love, or you wouldn't give a shit. All right?
Right.
Okay, and would it be true that in response to your self-hate, you feel best when you're punishing yourself?
Yes.
As though you're your God?
Never thought of it that way, but I guess so.
You didn't create yourself?
Right.
So how is it that you have no sovereignty in this, but you've usurped God's position and become your own God, and you're a sadistic bastard of a God?
Yes, I'd say that.
Kind of sucks. I'd get me into God. You know? You say your parents were great.
Yeah.
What made them great?
I mean, they were always there for me. My dad, when I was younger, he worked graveyard shifts, so I didn't see him a lot. But I always had anything I needed. I never wanted for anything, I guess you'd say. Like, I didn't get the brand new motorcycles when I was a kid and all that, but he was always there for me. He coached me in football. They always come to all my stuff. And they still do.
Come to your Turning Point graduations and take pictures.
Yeah, they would. I mean, they've been proud of it. It's the first time this weekend they come up here and they were happy. And they wasn't mad. They didn't put me down and say I need to do this and I need to do that. They were just happy I'm here and doing right.
They typically put you down and say you need to be doing this and doing that?
Especially my dad. I mean, I say it's just like you. The only time he praised me was when I was doing sports and doing great. It wasn't it, but he was always there.
And
And I would say I even had a second dad, my uncle. He was always there for me too. He was a different style life. He was the quiet guy that didn't talk unless I needed to hear something here. But he took me racing. We raced with real patrol cars. He'd take me all around the southeast of the building. It was just me and him.
you have brothers and sisters?
I have one sister,
Older, younger?
older,
What's she like?
bitch. That's the way to put it.
How much older?
She was born in 81 in February of 81. I was born in November of 82. So we're close in age.
What's your mama like?
Great woman. Always there. Protected me. Wouldn't tell Daddy when I messed up so he wouldn't bust his butt.
So she started the fiction.
What's that? Yeah, I guess so.
And protected you against mean, bad, demon daddy.
Yeah.
That happened to me too.
Sounds like you're God. Did that register with you when I just said that? What did it register?
It registered that I had a lot of people, like my granny was the same way. I always had anything I needed, anything I wanted, she'd always do it. So I guess I was a spoiled kid.
Narcissistic little shit.
Yeah.
Got everything you wanted.
Yeah.
Could get away with stuff. And the women protected you from the mean old men.
Except for my uncle who he was never mean, he just talked like one-on-one. It's like this is what, I don't know how I can say it. It's just he was there. He wasn't mean, he was just himself. And that's who I really want to be like, is him.
Is he alive?
Yes, sir.
You talked to him about this?
I have not talked to him about this.
Because he was around all them same damn controlling ass women
Yes, his
And-
wife is very controlling.
and survived somehow. So you grew up in this perfect family that really was afraid or hated men, and the women had the balls.
I guess Dad, I thought my dad always controlled everything. He would put his foot down and they did, just like my uncle. If he put his foot down, the women aren't going to do what he said.
Okay.
But it took a lot for him to put the foot down.
So they let the women cut your nuts off.
Yeah. Them two were working.
When you say yeah, are you agreeing or just...
No, I'm agreeing because when they were working, I was with them for women. I was the only boy in the family. I remember telling them, I'll never treat my wife the way they treat you and stuff.
You little manipulating shit.
Yes, I was. Still am.
There's lots of ways to screw kids without it being sexual. And again, you described your family as wonderful and great.
We had our problems, but most of the time they were good.
Yeah, they didn't rape you or...
Right. They would protect me, make sure I ate. I'd have to say they did more than most people's parents have.
Yeah, maybe too much, some ways.
Yeah. They still protect me. They still want to come in and save me.
Why? Because you're so damn pitiful? And weak? And stupid?
Yeah.
Can't do it for yourself?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed too. They raised you to believe you was one of them. Yes, no?
I would. Yes, with the, you got to stand up and be a man. They wanted me to do both.
Hermaphrodite.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
You get picked on after class.
No. Tell me if somebody picks on you. I got.
Walk up to me and do this all day.
Well, if they do, it's because that's who they are.
Okay. JK.
Because if there is a man in here who's been abusive to a woman, it's because they secretly think they're a pussy. And they're insecure. Okay? As a powerful man, confident man is gentle. Because they ain't got to prove nothing. So anyway, and I'm not being hard on you folks.
Oh, I know you're not.
Okay? Because it's really only your experience of your folks and your memory and the story that you told based on what limited information you had as a child. Right? But somehow in all that pattern, this is kind of how you're thinking of yourself in the world. Because why would a family overly protect a child or let him get away with stuff if he wasn't lacking somehow? Does that make any sense? And so if you want to be good or be loved, then you make touchdowns or hit home runs or your performance. And if you don't do right, oh, we're so disappointed in you. Or ass whooping.
Yeah.
And then after Daddy beats your ass, you feel all close to him.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, he comes in, that hurt me worse than it did you, and being loving kids.
Yeah.
I'd always get whooped and then get a hug and get told I love you and all this and that.
Is what?
My dad would whoop me and then give me a hug and tell me he loved me.
That's a pretty good daddy. In that way.
I had to pretend like it hurt because he didn't ever do it hard enough. I didn't want to embarrass him or something.
Well, you're lucky you didn't do it hard enough. I always got bruises.
Well, this is another thing to think about is I've been in a group of men, they talked about Daddy beat us, Daddy did this, Daddy, and then I heard another guy say, I wish my daddy would have beat me. He never acknowledged that I was alive. So I mean, it just kind of depends. It's all kind of relative to making sense of it.
But there's extremes, so.
Well, sure. I mean, but your daddy didn't give you gonorrhea. So you got it pretty good.
Yeah.
I known kids that their daddy gave them gonorrhea. So, you know, if he beat your ass a little bit, suck it up, you know.
My mom would get me down that extension cord and that broom handle and all that. She liked brooms.
Still didn't do no good. Nope.
Because he still manipulated his way out of stuff.
I mean, I don't remember my mom.
And just grinned, didn't you, boy?
Just what?
Just grinned and went about to do what you want to do anyway.
I mean, I never remember my mom whipping me or anything. I think she might have slapped me one time for back off when I was 13. That's about it.
And the details, I don't think are important as what you made of those. Because what you've told us is that you basically hate yourself deep down.
I do.
And you had a better childhood than lots of folks. Worse than some, whatever, you know. And you find yourself at a point in your life where your soul's saying, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Something's you're calling you. Because last week or week 4, you actually started asking me questions. That's new. Right? There's change going on in you. That you really didn't do anything, you didn't make it happen. Right? I mean, you opened your mouth and you risked whatever it was a little nervous when you started, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel comfortable with this group of guys.
Sure. Like your uncle.
Yeah. Because he didn't care if I finished first or last as long as I gave it all I had. But he wanted me to win, don't get wrong. We want to win. It's not. I remember he was so happy that I finished the race with a fairing going out the front when I couldn't even steer. I just had to ride around the wall. He was so happy about that I didn't quit. He kept me going.
Does anybody in the universe know you?
No. Not really. They know what I put on.